You didn't choose to click on this video. Something chose for you. And that something has been making your decisions your entire life without you ever knowing it exists. Today we are going to find it. I'm Anu. I study biotechnology and psychology, and I'm obsessed with one question. Why do humans do what they do even when it destroys them? This channel, Liminal Mind, exists in the space between what you know about yourself and what actually running the show. And the best place to start, the architecture of your mind. Three layers. Most people never learn about even one. Let's change that. Have you ever said something cruel to someone you love and immediately thought, where did that come from? Have you ever found yourself in the exact same relationship with a different person making the same mistakes again? Have you ever had a gut feeling so strong you couldn't explain it, but it turned out to be completely right? That's not random. That's not fate. That's your mind, the 90% of it you have never met. Sigmund Freud, love him or hate him, gave us the map. A century of neuroscience have confirmed what he found. Your mind isn't one thing, it's three, and they are not always working together. Imagine an iceberg, the part you see above the water, gleaming, visible in the light, and that's what you think of as you. Your thoughts, your decisions, your awareness. But beneath the surface, invisible, enormous, and impossibly powerful, is everything else. The iceberg doesn't just float, it's stirred from below, and so as you. Layer 1. The conscious mind. This is the part you think of as you. Your thoughts right now. The words forming in your head as you process what I am saying. The quiet voice deciding whether to keep watching or scroll away. That's it. That's your conscious mind. The whole thing. And here's what nobody tells you about it. It's account for about 5% of everything your brain is doing right now. 5%. The voice you hear in your head, the one you have been listening to your entire life, the one you have built your whole identity around, is running on 5% of the data. The other 95%, you have no access to it, no awareness of it, no control over it. It's making decisions. It's filtering what you see. It's pulling strings you don't even know exist. And you, the conscious you, gets a summary. Not the full picture, a summary. The conscious mind is where logic lives, where you make lists, weigh options, tell yourself a rational story about who you are and why you do what you do. It's real, it matters, but it isn't the driver. Just below the surface, close enough to reach, but not quite in your awareness, is the preconscious mind. Some people call it subconscious. Think of it as filling room, thousands of memories, skills, and pieces of information installed just out of sight, but available the moment you need them. What's your mother's birthday? You weren't thinking about it 5 seconds ago, but now you can see it clearly. That's the preconscious. It holds everything you know but aren't currently thinking about. The lyrics to a song you haven't heard in 10 years. The smell of your childhood bedroom. The exact feeling of your first heartbreak. Dormant. Until the right song plays. And suddenly you are 18 again. But here's what makes the preconscious fascinating. It's also where habits live. Every pattern you repeat without thinking, how you respond to stress, how you act in arguments, how you treat yourself when no one's watching. These start as conscious choices once. You thought about them so many times that they sank below awareness and became automatic. The preconscious is who you are on autopilot. And now we go somewhere most people never look. The unconscious mind. This is the 90%. The vast, dark, ancient part of you that was shaped long before you had words, before you had memories, before you had any say in who you were becoming. Freud believed, and modern neuroscience largely agrees, that the unconscious is not a passive storage room. It is an active force. It has wants, it has fears, it has an agenda, and it will pursue that agenda through your behavior, your choices, your relationships, whether you are aware of it or not. Let me give you an example that might be uncomfortable. Why do some people always end up with partners who are emotionally unavailable? Not once, every single time. Different person, different face, same pattern. The conscious mind says, I just have bad luck in love. And the unconscious mind says, this feels familiar. And familiar feels like home, even when home was painful. The unconscious doesn't speak in words, it speaks in patterns. In the people you are drawn to without knowing why. In the situations you recreate again and again. In the emotional reactions that feel bigger than the moment deserves. Your unconscious is not broken, it is doing exactly what it was trained to do, protect you. According to the rules it learned when you were very young. The problem is you have grown and it hasn't gotten the update. Freud built this model in the 1980s with no brain scans, no fMRI, no neuroscience as we know it, just observations and a relentless curiosity about why people suffer. So, what does modern science say? It says he was closer than anyone gave him credit for. Neuroscientist Benjamin Libet ran an experiment in the 1980s that shocked the scientific world. He asked people to make a simple movement, flex their wrist, whenever they feel like it, and to note the exact moment they made the decision. What he found, the brain showed electrical activity indicating the decision had been made up to 7 seconds before the person was consciously aware of deciding. 7 seconds. Your brain decided. Then it told you, and you experienced that notification as your own free will. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winner, called this System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, unconscious. It runs almost everything, almost all the time. System 2 is slow, deliberate, rational, and it mostly just narrates what System 1 already did. We think we are System 2. We are mostly System 1 with a very convincing story. Now here's the question nobody asks. So what? So what if 90% of your brain is unconscious? So what if patterns are running your life? You have gotten this far. Things seem fine. Why go digging? Because fine is not the same as free. Every relationship you sabotage before it gets too real, that's the unconscious protecting you from a pain it remembers even if you don't. Every dream you abandon because some voice said you weren't enough, that voice had a source, and it isn't the truth. Every time you numbed yourself with food, with the screens, with staying busy, something underneath was trying to speak. We don't change because life is terrible. Most of us change because we get tired. Tired of the same arguments. Tired of the same loneliness. Tired of almost having what we want and watching it slipping away again. Understanding your unconscious doesn't make life perfect, but it makes it yours. For the first time, actually, genuinely yours. And that's worth everything. So, where do we start? Not with a 10-step program, not with a book or therapist, though both can help. You start with one thing: curiosity. The next time an emotion hits harder than it should, instead of pushing it away, get curious. Ask, what all this story is this connected to? What does this remind me of? The next time you catch yourself in a familiar pattern, instead of calling it bad luck, just ask, what part of me keeps choosing this? What am I trying to prove? And the next time you wake up from a dream that leaves a feeling, write it down, even one sentence. The unconscious is speaking images and emotions. Writing is how you write back. Awareness is how unconscious becomes conscious, and consciousness is how we change it. You know what I find most extraordinary about all of this? The unconscious has been working this whole time. Every moment of your life, every fear, every longing, every self defending choice. It was trying to take care of you in the only way it knew how. It wasn't your enemy, it was doing its job. And the moment you understand that, really understand it, something shifts. You stop fighting yourself, you start getting curious instead. That curiosity is the beginning of everything. 3 layers, one mind. Most of it you have never been introduced to. In the next video, we go deeper. We look at the defense mechanism your unconscious used to protect your secrets, and what happens to people when those defenses finally break down. It's one of the most fascinating things I have ever learned. I think you will feel the same. If something in this video landed, and if you find yourself thinking of a pattern, a person, a movement you have never quite understood, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And sometimes the most important conversations happens there. Subscribe if you want to keep going. Share this with someone you have been asking the same question about themselves. I will see you at the threshold.